I got honest about my life. I got honest about my life about 8 months ago. Actually, almost 12 months ago. About a year ago, I got honest about my life. I was broke. This time last year, I was broke. I put out a video a few months ago titled How I Got Scammed Out of All of My Money and Made It Back 10 times. If you've been watching me since then, you know my story. I got scammed out of all of my money. I was broke. The last business had failed. I was broke. I was in debt. And I was 27 at the time. I'm 28 now. And I had to get honest. I had to be honest with myself about how I got there and if I was really trying hard enough. Because I was always ambitious. I always had dreams. I always knew what I wanted, but I never got any of those things. And when I got honest about all of that with myself, I realized that really I just wasn't trying hard enough. I wasn't trying hard enough. And that was the only missing keys, was the effort and the consistency, which I was not putting into practice for whatever reason. I don't know what I was waiting for. When I realized that if my dad were to get sick right now, this is at the time. If my dad were to get sick right now, I wouldn't be able to take care of him. Or if my mom got sick, I wouldn't be able to take care of her. And I was 27, that became very alarming for me. Or if I were to have a kid, I wouldn't be able to take care of them. At 27, that became very alarming for me. I haven't dated in 4 years. I haven't been in a relationship in 4 years, since 2020, the pandemic. 4 years. That'll be a video on its own. But I didn't want any distractions. And it's hard to maintain a relationship when you don't have money. It's hard to maintain a relationship, especially as a man, when you can't bring that to the table. You can't provide in that way. It's very difficult. So not only did I not have anything of the things I wanted, at 27, I still wasn't in a position to be able to help my parents out, let alone take care of them. I didn't even have money for a relationship. If I ever wanted if I wanted a family at that point in time, I'd be scrambling to find money. I was at a rock bottom, and money is a lagging indicator of the things that you've been doing all this time. Money is a reflection of your choices, of the series of decisions you've made leading up to the money. And the fact that I had no money let me know that I was making a poor series of decisions. So I had to get very honest about my life. Again, this is a year ago. This is 12 months ago. 12 months ago at this time, I had just gotten back from the Dominican Republic. This time last year, I was in the Dominican Republic and I had just gotten back to Toronto. I had no money. I tried applying for a job because clearly my business wasn't working out. And the job I applied for was a fake job. I ended up getting scammed. Was tricked into cashing some false checks. Checks bounced, obviously. Got scammed. Bank couldn't do anything. Bank kept freezing my accounts. Couldn't pull any money out. Couldn't pay any of my bills. I was stuck. Literally couldn't take out any money. And when I got that resolved, the bank kept freezing my accounts to the point where that happened, that they froze it 3 separate times for no reason. So I ended up just moving banks. But that's the point with all that is to say that, like, I know what it feels like to have $0, be in the hole. I remember my bank account at its worst said like negative $300 because of overdraft. My checking account said negative $300. My credit card said like $7,500 in debt, maxed out. No, sorry. My checking account said like negative 5,000 or negative 3,000 because of the bounce checks, plus the negative $7,500 on credit card debt, meaning I was over $10,000 in the hole. And I had to be honest about the fact that nobody else put me in that position except for me. Had I been trying hard enough with my business, it wouldn't have failed. I wouldn't have ended up trying to go look for a job to get scammed. Like, it was all on me. My mother had to bail me out. My mother had to bail me out financially. And here I was trying to call myself an entrepreneur. And I had to just be like, okay, you know what, Pablo, let's dial in right now. Because at that point, I had to make a decision. After I applied for that job and it turned out to be a fake and I got scammed, I was like, ain't no way in hell I am going back to a corporate job. Because as I felt so powerless. I felt so powerless. I was like, I couldn't comprehend. I was just like, why am I waiting for someone to hire me before I start making money? Like, am I really incapable of not making a single dollar on my own? And so all those things put together, I was like, hey, you know what? I ain't got time for nothing. I ain't got time for no vacations. I ain't got time for no relationships, no girlfriends, no socializing, no nothing. I don't have time for any of that. I'm way behind where I should be. If I was applying myself for real, this is how much I believe in myself. If I was applying myself for real, I would have been a multi-millionaire by, like, I would have been up, like 50 plus million by now if I was truly applying myself. And I was at negative $10,000 in the hole. I was $10,000 in the hole. And I was like, nothing about this life right now that I have, living in my parents' basement, being a nobody, having a failed business and can't get a job, like, none of this reflects who I am. None of this reflects who I know I am. And so I just went all in. I went all in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pluck the sun out of the sky if I have to. If that's what it means, if that's what it takes to build, to will my desired reality into existence, I will do that. Nothing is getting in my way. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this once and for all. And if I fail again, it's going to be, I'm failing at a higher level. I'm done failing with these little petty things. These little things that keep throwing me off track, like getting scammed out of a job. Why am I out there applying for jobs if I'm actually an entrepreneur? If I'm taking myself seriously as an entrepreneur, why am I out there putting myself in a position to get scammed? And so I just stopped talking to everyone. I just dialed all the way in. I stopped talking to everyone. And a lot of people got pissed off. I lost a lot of friends, a lot of relationships, but the relationships I have right now are so much more fulfilling and positive and impactful. And I wouldn't give this up for the world, but you have to go through that. Every one of you, if not already, is going to go through that moment where you're like, damn, I really messed this up. I really, really messed this up. And in that moment, you decide to bail out or to lean into it. I tried to bail out. God wouldn't let me. I tried to go back to a corporate job. I tried to apply. I thought I had gotten the job. God said, no, come back here. Come back down to this route. This route where you believe in yourself, where you're creating your own business, where you're putting out content. Come back to this path. A couple months later, I ended up making 10 times that. That little $3,000 I got scammed, I made 10 times that in a month. $30,000+ So, say all that to say, I'm putting this out there as a documentation of my journey and to let you guys know that you guys can come back from whatever you're going through and that the lows are there for a reason. They were timed in this way for a reason because you're about to hit a high and you need to prepare yourself character-wise. And the only real way to prepare yourself character-wise is to go through a difficult moment and go through all the frustration and the anxiety because you're conditioning yourself, because the next time this happens, it's going to be on a higher level and you can't afford to be thinking of bailing out and giving up anymore. So life's going to hit you with something real hard right now or in those moments. I had to get honest with my life. And when I got honest about the fact that it was only on me and I'm the one who put myself there, well, then it allowed me to start taking credit for all the wins. And life gets better. Life, if there's one thing I know to be true about life, is that it gets better. It gets better than the best it's been before. Thoughts and questions in the comments. Hit the like button. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.